So to access the report module from anywhere in ActivityBox once you're logged in is very easy. You just simply click on the reports button right at the top here, this main icon, and it's going to open up your reporting dialog. Now, depending on whether you're a reseller or an operator logging into ActivityBox, you might see different lists of reports here because some reports are specific for operators, some are specific for resellers. However, we're going to look at each individual major report today, one by one, to give you an idea of the ones that are important to you. Let's start first of all with the arrivals report. This one here, I can just click the select button next to it and it's going to open up the arrivals report filter dialog. The arrivals report is really useful for operators because it gives you a list of all the people who are arriving for your activities every single day. So here I am logged on the training site as one of the operators Acrobranch, so I can, for example, leave everything here. That's I don't need to change anything on this screen. The only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ask the ActivityBox to tell me who's arriving for my activities, and let's just take a date, say February the 13th 2010. Now I can run the report on a daily basis, I can run it weekly, monthly, it doesn't matter. You can put as much date as you want in here as you want. You don't need to change any of these filters, just put the date range in that you want to see your arrivals and click process. After a couple of seconds, ActivityBox is going to then give you all the results of that report, and let's look at them. So it gives you the title of the report you've chosen, the arrivals report, what date and time you've reported it, and it always mentions to you here, just always consider new bookings that may occur after this time. So if ever you're running an arrivals report, well in advance to the date of the arrival, you've got to consider there might be new reservations that come in after you've run this report. I'd recommend, if you're an operator, to run this report at night or the first thing in the morning of each day so that you get an accurate view of who's coming in at what time. In the actual report body here, we can see I'm logged in as Acrobranch, as I mentioned, Saturday the 13th of February, the meeting time 12:50 p.m. The place where they're meeting is the fireplace, and we have a list of all the customer names, their local telephone number. So if I, the operator, need to reach any of these customers, let's say there's a customer who's late for the pickup time or the meeting point, I've got my cell phone number, I can quickly reach them to say, hey, don't forget, you need to be here. I then have the details of where they are staying at. In most cases, resellers do put this information in. Also, the activity that they've booked, the number of places that they've booked, and the participant types. The reservation number for each booking, if I need to do some more research in ActivityBox later on, and then the total amount of people for that booking. So I can see here, for this particular activity at 12:50 on Saturday the 13th of February, I have 21 people that I'm expecting. And then later on down the list, we can scroll down and I can see I have a later activity in the afternoon at 4:50, and again I can see all the list of names, their local numbers, the types of participants and activities that they've booked, and the total amount of people that I'm expecting. So here at the top of the arrivals report, I can choose to print this report and email it. The email function is really useful because let's say you have an activity that includes transport, then you might want to run this report at night time and then email it to your driver so that he has it in hand in the morning before he starts to go do his pickups. He then has a valid list of all the people that he's supposed to be picking up at the various different hotels throughout the area. So that's the arrivals report, and for operators, it's the report that really you should be trying to run every day so you know who's coming to do your activities. Okay, the next report I want to take a look at is the reconciliation report. This report is only for operators or resellers who use ActivityBox to make their own bookings, but they do not use embedded payment, which means that you're going to be taking your own payments for your own bookings. The reconciliation report is a really useful tool to make sure that you never forget to charge a customer for their booking. The way it works, you just simply select the reconciliation report and you choose the date or the date range. You might want to do this on a daily, a weekly, or a monthly basis, and it will show you a list of all the different payment types that you've chosen when you've been making bookings, and it allows you to reconcile it against your credit card machine or your cash registry or your accounts to make sure that you haven't forgotten. So here, for example, I'm just going to do a reconciliation report for the month of February, and let's see what information I can get from this report. So again, I don't need to change anything on the filters here. I'm just going to enter in the date range, 1st of February through to the 28th of February 2010. I'll just, for the sake of this this demonstration, I'll choose Tron Activities. But in your case, you won't need to change any of these filters here. ActivityBox automatically knows who you are and puts that information in. And then I just click Process. So actually here's the results. I've changed the date range a bit just to represent the 1st of February only. So I can see here at the Trauma Activities on the training site where we're doing training bookings on that date, we did reservations which total the total amount of $7,500, and I have a breakdown. $2,500 we processed on MasterCard, $3,300 on Visa card, and $1,169.75 on Amex. Now again, this is for resellers or operators who do not use the embedded payment of ActivityBox, whereby ActivityBox automatically takes payment on the customer. This report is so that I know that I need to charge all these different people. By clicking on this little plus sign here next to each payment type, I can get a breakdown, a list of all the reservations that I made, the name of the customer, the number of the credit card, the expiry date, and the amount that I should be charging that card, so that I can make sure that I reconcile with all the bookings that I've made to make sure that I don't ever forget to charge somebody. And here that we see one in red, this is actually a refund. So all the ones in black are payments, and the ones that you see in red are refunds that you need to do. So the reconciliation report is a very useful tool to make sure that you never forget to charge a customer. And again, just to repeat, it is for resellers and operators that do not use the embedded payment, insofar as that you guys make your own payments. You take your own cash, you use your own credit card machine to take payments for activities that your bookings you make in the system. Okay, next report to look at is the sales report. So again, I just select it here from my reports menu. The sales report is going to give you listing and details of all the sales that you have made in ActivityBox for either your own activities if you're an operator, or for all the bookings that you've made if you're a reseller. And it's very easy. It's a very self-explanatory report. So you've got two date ranges on the sales report. One is the date of the activities. So if I want to run an entire monthly sales report, say for the month of February, then I would just put in the applicable date range here. You can see that. I would choose February the 1st, and then the end of the applicable date would be the 28th of February, obviously 2010. And then the second date range I have is the entry date range. Now that's the date range where I've made the actual reservation. So don't forget, sometimes you might make reservations months in advance for actually when the activity starts. So when I do my entry date range, I always go a few months back in time just to make sure I'm including all the sales, all the bookings I might have made some months ago. So I can choose November, say for example 2009, it goes way back to the beginning of the winter season. So here I'll choose November 2000, I'll do November 2008, it's no big deal. And then right up to today's date, so I will choose back to 2010, and we're in March right now. So using the calendar here, it shows me what date I'm on. You see here, and I just click. So I'm looking at the entry date range, which is the date I've made the reservations, from the 1st of November right the way through to today. And again, in your cases, you won't need to change any of these filters here, but for the sake of this demonstration, I'm just going to select one of the resellers, Trauma Activities. Again, I'm on the training site, so this information we're looking at isn't actually valid, so I don't have a problem showing you guys this on the video. And then I just click Process. So just to recap, sales report, I put in the date range of the activities, the start date of the activities, 1st of February to the 28th of February, and then the entry date range of the reservation, 1st of November 2008 through to today's date. And then we can scroll down here and we can see the total amount of the reports and what it looks like. So I have my total amount of sales, then I have it broken down per operator and per activity. So I can see how much sales I've made, and then you see the little plus signs next to each. I can actually expand that and then really drill down in this reports to get more and more information right the way down to the individual bookings, and then I can really drill down right the way down to the participant types. And you can look at this information yourself on your own reports to understand it a bit better, but there's a lot of stuff here. Now, if you want to print this report, you don't have a main print button here because this report can have an absolute ton of information. The best way to do it is to export it into either an Excel file, or I recommend an Adobe PDF file. So you just select here, export to Adobe PDF, and then click export. That will then open up another dialog on your screen, and you just follow the instructions to print it. So that's a few of the reports. We'll carry on this training on the reporting video part 2, where we'll look at some of the other reports as well.